Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for boarding this flight 737 to Nice. Let's get ready to rumble. Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
What's the name of our podcast again?
Long ride home.
Long Ride Home.
The Long Way Home.
Are we feeling a little... Long Ride Home. I think Long Way Home is a TV show.
It's a long way home. Is it?
Oh, maybe.
A long way home.
So, cut. Copyright. The Long Ride Home. Are we feeling a little closer to home today than we were last week?
Yeah. My wife and daughter just drove out here to say hi. So, we're pretty close.
Yeah, we're getting there. You can smell the med. And, yeah, we're, 4 days away from Nice only? Maybe even less, so.
What does the Mediterranean smell like?
Well, it's more of a feeling.
Like the Mediterranean's in the air.
Yeah.
You can smell it. You can feel it.
You can feel it. I don't know what it probably smells like salt water, but
Ocean definitely has a smell.
yeah.
You can tell when you're close to an ocean.
Yeah.
We're
It's
not
like
quite yet.
Rotting seaweed or something?
Yeah.
Seagull poop.
Right. So talk to us about your guys' rest days. What have you guys been up to? Neilson, you said your family was here.
Mm-hmm. They are. My family, my wife, my daughter, and a friend of ours, they rented an Airbnb in Carcassonne. So I did a 20K ride. Rode to Carcassonne, had coffee while they had lunch. Just hung out with them for like an hour. Came back. Actually rode back with the guys because they planned a cafe stop in the same square we were meeting. So
I didn't realize that was unintentional.
it was unintentional. I didn't want to see you guys, but I thought I'd have to be friendly and introduce everyone. But, rode back with the boys, had lunch, had a massage. Then I went swimming this afternoon with my wife and my daughter here at the hotel.
Nice. Yeah, I did the same thing minus the wife and daughter part. So, no, it was super chill. Nice ride through the sunflower fields with the boys, and yeah, chill cafe stop. Carcassonne's a pretty cool town actually, compared to the last rest day, and
Big upgrade.
yeah. I don't know. Nice summer day. No complaints. Feeling super refreshed. Even just one day off makes like the world of difference.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially after a day like yesterday, which was, I guess, pretty legendary in many ways. Talk to us about, one, how you feel directly after, and just how big of a difference, I guess, as you said, like one day off can make.
Yeah, I think especially at the end of a week of racing, like a 6-hour massive climbing day on the bike just takes quite a toll on the body. And it's also just mentally, especially if I was in the gruppetto for a while, and you're kind of checked out, you're ready for it to be over, and then you have to ride down to the bus too, and then you got a long bus transfer, so you're kind of just really fatigued out there. But one day where you don't have to wake up to an alarm and get on the bus, pack all your things, and pin your numbers, it makes a big difference. I think maybe more mentally, but there's definitely a physical side too.
Yeah, I think for me it's definitely like the mental recovery is the biggest thing. Waking up knowing that you don't have to hurt yourself today.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Talk a little bit, like, we talk about this a lot, just in terms of how, like, the concept of time is so warped at a Grand Tour. It feels like not very long time ago we were talking about this specific stage 15. I guess it was right before the first day. Talk about how long ago that feels, I guess, at this point.
I can't really remember too much apart from like three days into the past. I can't remember who it was. I think Tom was talking about some stage when Ben was in the Breakaway on a mountain stage, not the last 2 days, but earlier, and I just could not remember at all. I was
Stage 11. Yeah.
okay, you remember, but
The one where you attacked our gruppetto a little bit to get to do the descent by yourself.
Oh yeah. wait, which one was that?
It was like the break took 3 hours to go. Remember? And it was like wet. And then Richie was in the break, and then Ben bridged across.
I don't remember this at
crazy.
all.
You gotta be joking.
I don't.
What's his name won the sprint against Pogacar?
Oh, Jonas won.
Yeah, Jonas won against Pogue.
Okay, yeah, I think referencing the rider that won the stage helps a lot.
Yeah, and there was the downhill and Roglic crash.
Oh, I remember. I remember this day
now
now.
it's all coming
Yeah,
back
it's
in reverse
flooding.
order.
My memories are flooding
and
back.
Wout crashed in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that was a hard day.
Yeah,
That was really hard.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
talk a little bit more about like all the times you were at the front of the race, because there were a
Block
few
out
of those.
trauma.
But talk a little bit about what's it like riding in the gruppetto? Like, what is? You said you attacked to get on in front of the descent.
Well, that was.
I don't
that
remember
was a
that.
Joke.
Oh,
that was a joke.
it was a joke attack.
Did I
You
attack?
don't actually attack. No, you just like. I think you were in my group, and then you just went a little bit ahead because, I don't know. I think maybe we were just going too slow.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. I was riding like a bit harder up that climb that we all got dropped on.
Because
then I was
sometimes
alone.
sometimes in the gruppetto, guys are going so slow, and you're like, there's still 3 climbs left. If I go faster here, then I can take the last climb super easy. Because you never want to do what the sprinters were doing yesterday and have to go full gas when you're legit an hour behind the winner. That's just the worst thing. So for me personally, like the best thing to do is if you get dropped way before the last climb, just go pretty fast, get in a good group for the valleys, and then you can take the last climb, fully drop anchor, and just go easy.
Yeah, yesterday, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit stressed about the time cut when I got dropped. Sean and I both had a call come through the radio to empty ourselves 150K to the line before any of the real mountains started.
Yeah.
So I was in the gruppetto for about 150K. And you get a bit nervous about time cut when you see you still have to climb 3,500 meters.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept asking other guys in the gruppetto, thinking like, how hard do you think we need to ride this climb? Like, how hard do we need to ride this climb? But I was still just, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
How does that discussion go? Are you talking about like watts per kilo? Like what? Like is like, or is it just like a perceived effort kind of thing, or is it?
I think it's harder to know when you're in the gruppetto. You can, I mean, if you really go easy, you can lose so much time on even one 5K climb, one 10K climb. And so in the gruppetto, you kind of want to look to like veteran riders or teams where you know they have a follow car behind telling them like you can lose this much time. But
Or just keeping track of like how much time you've lost
Yeah.
on each climb to know, then you'll have a better idea of pacing.
yeah.
There were guys in my group that each at the start and at the top of each climb, they would get like a call on their radio saying what the time gap was.
Yeah.
So they'd see that gap going out, and they would know how much we lost on the climb going at the pace we were going. And then you kind of just adjust the next climb based on that.
Yeah. I think we're lucky. We're both like pretty decent climbers. So if we're in the gruppetto, worst case scenario, you just go full gas up the last climb and you'll probably be fine. Whereas
They're
some of the
suckers.
sprinters, like they don't really have a choice, and they're going full gas in the gruppetto all the time. So
Yeah. Talk. It was funny. I think 2 nights ago, we were looking at everyone in the room. It wasn't just the riders, but everyone was pretty nervous about stage 15. Was there a certain sense of relief once that stage was done and you knew, all right, into the rest day, have a good evening with like burgers and all that? Is that something you kind of look forward to
who
as
was
well?
nervous other than the riders?
The staff was all pretty tense. It was like, because I think everyone wears, I think, not your guys's, like everyone wants you all to be able to perform at your best. And when we know it is a big day, we do want to try and match the energy and seriousness that, you know, we don't want to be sitting in the corner just laughing our heads off. Like, and you guys are like there just like stressed.
Fair.
So, yeah. Just talk a little bit about, like, I guess, the relief of making it through week 2 and then now, like, you know, heading into week 3 of the tour.
Yeah, I mean, we're more or less in the home stretch now. There's a few there's basically 2 pretty serious days left in the tour. The second to last day of the tour is a very serious day. But yeah, I mean, I feel like now the mental weight has lifted a lot because there's like less of a sense of I'm nervous about this, about doing this because what's coming is really big. I feel like leading into stage 14, 15, people were having conversations about how much energy do I use today because of what's coming in 2 days. And I feel like that's more or less going to be gone now. At least I don't really feel like I would be basing any strategies off of that anymore. Because, yeah, especially it's been pretty clear what UAE and Jumbo want to do on the mountain stages. They kind of just want to use the teams they have and just try to grind the other down, which is not great for breakaways because breakaways are extremely intense in the beginning and then they lose time in the middle because they're kind of gassed and then they just try to hang on for the end. But basically, yeah, UAE, Jumbo, UAE Visma, they basically ride it like a time trial from 0 to the end. So, yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot less holding back, I guess, before these next mountain stages because the opportunities are limited in the mountains here this year.
Yeah. I think just that last weekend felt like the hump of the race, you know? And now it does feel like we're in the home stretch. I feel like especially those 2 big stages right into the rest day, that's like a big turning point. And now we feel like we've turned the corner. And it's like you said, we can smell Nice now. Cool. But yeah, like he said, hasn't been very kind for the breakaways. Obviously, we see those teams riding at an insane level right now. So, yeah, if a breakaway wins, it's maybe more they have to let them win than the breakaway overpowers them. But the next 3 days, or at least 2 of the next 3 days, look pretty promising.
I think through Friday, break will have a pretty good chance. Saturday, Sunday is just TT, but Saturday, that's basically an uphill start, and I think it'll be probably a GC battle from the gun. So if you are going for the break, you can probably get in over the first 1 or 2 climbs, but yeah, it's going to be a really tough race for the breakaway that day. So I think basically we'll have four opportunities to go all in for the break and try to win something.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the first day after the rest day. Obviously, it was a bit of a tough one for both of you, going down fairly early in the race and having to push through until the end. Kind of talk about how you managed to deal with not only the pain of the race, which was pretty fast at the end, especially for the sprinters, but also, obviously the physical pain of having to, having crashed in the stage and having to keep going. Because I think that's something that people really admire in cyclists. Yeah, what kind of goes through your mind and after you crash? Obviously pain, but
it was Thursday, by the way, not Tuesday.
Yeah, get your facts right.
Come on.
Right. Oh man.
I didn't know what day it was.
The whole was that Thursday?
In the moment either.
Yeah. All right. So Thursday, talk about riding through pain. Yeah.
It's just annoying, I think. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at a certain point, I guess you go through like the 5 stages of grief in a few minutes, like, what is it? Denial. You're like, no. All right, fine. And eventually in a few minutes, you're like, all right, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to have to take a nasty shower after the race, but then it's going to be fine. So, yeah, I don't know. I was personally suffering on those little kickers.
I was too.
in the middle because, had a lot of pain all over, just sore. And they were not going that easy, but once we got to the flats at the end, it was a little more relaxed.
Yeah, that was a breath of fresh air when Charlie was in our radio giving us updates on like how far we had until the race got easier terrain-wise. And I mean, I was definitely counting down the Ks of like, okay, 10K to go, all right, 5K to go until it gets easier. And then we had the last 60K was just fast, pretty flat, and we could kind of roll it in. But yeah, Sean definitely hit the deck harder than I did, so he had to go to the doctor's car and like get patched up a bit at 60K an hour.
Yeah, and then I was in the caravan for a long time because at first, like, my knee, I don't know what happened. It just, like, ceased to work for a little bit there, and I just couldn't accelerate, and so I just kept getting passed by the cars, and then, yeah, couldn't jump fast enough to get in the draft, and
I passed you once.
I was in the caravan for a while, but yeah, look, we made it through, and it could have been worse. So.
Yeah, it's really just like get to the finish line and then like get a night rest and get checked out by the doctor, and if you just get to the finish line, then most likely you'll be able to be, taken care of overnight and start the next day, managing what happened.
Yeah.
Sean, did you get any love from the U.S. after your Tourmalet stage? Because our socials were blowing up with your name specifically. Like, everyone's talking about what great of a ride you did on that day. Talk about that day, and if it was at all, I mean, maybe fun is the wrong word, but it must have been pretty special to go up Tourmalet leading the breakaway the way you did.
Yeah, I mean, it's a legendary climb, so of course that was special, and it's a challenge I was excited about, so that helped. As far as love from the U.S., I think a little bit, but maybe not because it's the Tourmalet or because it's such a special ride. It's more because I've had like an anonymous tour from, I guess, my friend's point of view before now. So I finally got on TV for the boys, and yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, so no, I think a couple people were pumped to see me. But respect if they got up that early, because I was super early in the stage too. So, yeah.
Neilson, talk a little bit about, and I guess Sean kind of alluded to it. There's a lot of work that goes in from you guys, and a lot of times the strategy was to have you guys, as you said, empty yourself before the race even really got going to try and get certain guys in the break or get yourself in the break. Talk a little bit about the work that goes on at the beginning of the stage before people are really watching the stage, and the work that goes into even getting into a break at the Tour de France.
Yeah, basically from K0, we're starting a VO2 workout, just constant sprints. I think there was one day I got in a breakaway of, I think it was 16 or 17 guys, like pretty big one, and I thought it was going to be a break that would make it to the line. But yeah, GC team started racing from behind because Adam Yates got in as well. But yeah, it's a hard balance because getting in the break, you have a long day of work ahead of you once you're in it. But to get in the break, you have to do multiple max sprint efforts and then continue at the end of them to grow the gap. You have to like pull the gap and then you have to grow the gap. So it's definitely a lot. It's definitely a heavy load right in the beginning, and sometimes it takes like 2 hours to clear the lactate from those early jumps. Even if you're in the peloton, sometimes I can just feel the burn in my legs for 2 hours after the start. But yeah, I mean, that's just what you have to do to get in the break. You have to be aggressive from the gun, and that's why breaks can make it, because GC riders are trying to save their bullets for the final, for the finish, and for the breakaway. You have to just be willing to basically risk the entire day, the entire race on the first hour.
I think that's the hardest part about it is, you're not 100% sure when it's going to end. So even if there's like a 20-minute climb at the start, like yesterday, you can say, okay, I'm going full gas up this thing. I'm going to do the best 20 minutes possible. And then the brake doesn't go. It comes back over the top. And then you're basically dead for the rest of the stage,
Yeah.
And then you miss it. And that can be really frustrating. But yeah, you kind of have to do these till failure efforts to get in the potential moves. And then whether it goes or not isn't up to you by yourself. One individual rider can't decide. It's the right algorithm, the right combination, and you can kind of predict that based on who's trying to get in, who's leading GC, stuff like that. But sometimes it can be really unpredictable. Like he said, he was in a perfect move the other day, and there was one guy in there ruined it for them. But yeah, we see that a lot. A supposedly perfect move will go, and then it just comes back for no reason. So
Week 1, I think we were all talking a little bit about how it was fairly tame in terms of the racing. Was week 2 a little bit more chaos, harder to get into breaks? It feels like the breaks have been really hard to get into this second week. Have you kind of noticed a difference now that, now that you've raced the second week of the tour between the tour and other races? Sean, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely following the guidelines of a normal World Tour stage race in 2024 now. It's like really hard to get in a break and takes a long time, and then when the break goes, even if it's really strong, there's still a chance it comes back. So a bit different. The first week we had a couple super relaxed days, but that only happened once on Tuesday. So, and I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe tomorrow, but tomorrow will be the last day. If tomorrow could be a break as well. So.
Till the wind picks up.
Yeah, or that, and then it's gonna be full gas 5 days in a row. So. Yeah.
Neilson, how is this second week compared to other tours you've done?
I mean, I feel like in the past times I've raced through the Pyrenees, the break has always at least established some kind of a gap without having to absolutely destroy yourself. The move that Sean got in on the Tourmalet, like there was probably never a single second that you guys were able to just like soft pull a little bit and pull the gap out. Like you had to work for every second, basically. There were no free there was no free time given to that break. So every year is different. I don't know. I mean, it's been really unpredictable to me. I've been in a lot of really good moves, and almost none of them have gone to the line. There have only been a few breakaways making it to the line. They came earlier in the race, and I think that's just...
was it just stage 1 and 2? Do you have any other break wins?
Well, the gravel stage.
Oh, right.
One, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, they caught them kind of.
Yeah.
And then, but... there haven't been a lot of successful breaks since the first week.
Yeah.
And I would say that's a bit different. Maybe not like the success of the break, but just the leeway the breaks are getting. It's not much.
Has been fun racing in a team that's been so aggressive. You guys have been crushing it. I mean, and this is a biased opinion maybe, but I think everyone else would probably agree with us that we've been probably the most active team this week. Has that been kind of fun every day knowing that you're going for it no matter what?
Yeah. I think we've been, I mean, it's only, one or two riders that make the break, but I feel like we work so well as a team to get the right rider we want in the break for each day. Like in the high mountains, like in 15, like the goal was to get Richie in the break because, altitude's good for him. Long, hard climbing stages are good for him. So it was constantly like, okay, how do we get Richie in the break? Like if there's a move that he misses, like try to pull it back. If there's an opportunity, try to get him in the wheel and like go as hard as you can, sprinting to try to take to blunt the initial effort for him so that he can hopefully get off the front. Or like what Sean and I had to do was pull into Col de Ment, which was hard and mentally taxing thing to do. But it's honestly like a really fun way to race, especially at the Tour de France when you have like clear strategy and a nice goal for each day.
Yeah, it's probably been the first race I've done where we're just going stage hunting. Like, I guess at the end of the Vuelta last year. But usually we have like a GC rider in the back of our mind. So it's been pretty fun style of racing.
Last question, what was your favorite moment of the week?
Favorite moment of the week? Probably seeing my wife and daughter here on the rest day.
Easy cop
out. Top that, Sean.
Yeah. Oof. Favorite moment of the week? Yeah, now I don't remember the week.
Yeah, I just said that because I honestly have no memory of
Right.
Tour de France at all this year.
I think, climbing up Pla d'Ade that on the end of the Tourmalet stage, that was pretty cool. The atmosphere up there looked really fun with all the fans. I'm sure I have some funny stories that I'm just forgetting at this point. But, yeah, it's been not too bad of a week. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll catch up with you hopefully in Nice next time.
Right on.
We're going to let you chill for the next couple
I think we
days.
only have 2 hotels to go.
Really?
3.
3, really?
Yeah, we have one night at the Bessèges Hotel, and then 2 in Embrun at a chateau, and then we're at the Nice Chateau.
Okay, yeah.
The chateau is calling us.
Ready for that.
2 chateaus at the end.
Yeah,
After all these motels, it's
Yeah.
about time.
We've been drawing the short stick with hotels so far this tour, so
I know.
we've earned it.